heard him on the Artie Lang podcast recently because he was on it. Please give it up for the very funny, very talented, very warm and caring, Evan Weiss.
Give it up for Rachel, everybody. Give it up for yourself selling this place out, guys. Thank you. Hitler couldn't get this many people in a gas chamber. That's right. Second Hitler joke. Second Hitler joke. How far can we go with the Hitler jokes? One Jew at a time. That's right. One Jew. That's right. Let me tell you about myself. When I was little, I used to wait for Santa Claus. Every year, I used to get out the milk and cookies and wait for him. He would never show up. It wasn't until I was 15 my parents told me I was Jewish. I would not be here tonight if it wasn't for my dad. He really inspired me to get into comedy. In fact, I would not be here tonight because he gave me the gas money to get here. I remember when I was younger, my whole family, they used to go on vacation. One year we went to Epcot Center. I love it, Walt Disney World. Any of you guys ever been there? Yeah! I love it because they have all the different countries. I remember first we went over to Ethiopia. They had nothing to eat over there. Then we went over to France. They spit at us. And then surrendered. Finally, we went over to Germany. First of all, we weren't very welcome over there. No. They came running over to us, strapped us into these freight car trains, strapped the Star of David around our arms. I'm never going that ride again. You know, I did that joke one time at the synagogue and not invited back. Seriously, if anybody's offended by that joke, I personally think it's a gas. There we go. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Hacky Hitler jokes. Thank you, sir. Don't look like I'm about to kill you. Well, I just might. It's okay. Loosen up. Oh, you guys keeping up with the election? Can you guys read? I don't know. I really want Marco Rubio for president. Anybody for Rubio train? Nobody? Marco Rubio. I think we need a Cuban in the White House. It's about time we have a Cuban in the White House. The last Cuban that was in the White House was in Monica's cunt. Oh! You get it, sir? You get it? It was a cigar in a... I have to explain these to you. I don't know. You can tell that to the kids later. I don't know. Tell it to the grandkids. I heard this one. So gas is cheap these days. You guys like that? That gas is cheap? Yeah. I was at the gas station earlier. I was pouring gas into my tank. Beautiful woman standing next to me. I said, wow, gas is so cheap. What year is it? She turns to me and goes, don't talk to me. Well, I'm sorry I bothered you. So, I don't know if you guys know this. Amy Schumer, you guys are fans of Amy Schumer? She was accused of stealing other people's material. You believe that? She was accused of stealing. I actually think she stole my whole life. Can you believe that? She's a fat whore from Long Island, and I am the original fat whore from Long Island. I think she stole my whole life. For instance, she won an Emmy. I once won a can of chicken broth at an open mic for a dead baby joke. Thank you, sir. You seem impressed by that. I appreciate it. She won an Emmy. That's right. She won an Emmy. She was able to take all of her childhood pain and make it a successful career. I was able to take all my childhood pain and make it more adult pain and failure. Same thing, guys. I have like 10 of them that I wrote. I'm not going to go over them all. Add me on Facebook. You can go back about a month, then you read them later on. It's okay. So I do things on the cheap because I'm a poor Jew. Take a picture of me. If you see a poor Jew, that's kind of like a mythical creature. You'll try to take a picture of me, you try to show your friends on your phone, I saw a poor Jew, but it won't come out. You're like, oh my God. I saw one. You might as well call me a Junicorn. Or a Jew squash. Like I said, I do things on the cheap because I'm poor. I like going, by my house, there's a laundromat, free dryers, right? But when you do things on the cheap, you pay in other ways. I'm minding my own business, waiting for my stuff. Homeless guy walks in. He goes, "Hey buddy, you have a smoke?" And I was like, "No, I don't smoke." Then he looks me up and down, licking his lips like I was a piece of pork chop. I don't know if he was hungry or he was giving me like a homeless man checkup. I don't know. Then he goes, "Oh yeah, you don't smoke? You're really healthy. Lose weight." I'm like, "Thank you, homeless guy. Here's some soap. Get a house." Then I go into the Dollar Tree. I love the Dollar Tree because I can afford everything there. I love the Dollar Tree. But again, you got to pay in other ways. You got to deal with the stupidity of the staff. I bought a newspaper a few months ago. One of the Paris attackers, the suicide attacker, beautiful woman, says suicide bomber. She was in the bathtub on the cover of the newspaper. It says suicide bomber. Cashier rings it up, looks at me, looks at the paper, looks at me, goes, "How did they get her picture if she blew herself up?" How did they get her picture if she blew? I said, "I don't know. Ring me up. I don't know. Maybe she took it before she blew herself up. I don't know. 2 weeks later, I went back to the same Dollar Tree, different cashier. I told her the same story. Different cashier looks at me like a deer caught in headlights and goes, "Yeah, how did they get her picture?" I said, "Just give me an application. I don't know." I was recently on the Artie Lang podcast. I know you guys are excited about that. That's kind of like my dream and Artie Lang's nightmare. I'm sitting, he does it in his living room. I'm sitting there on his couch. First hour, I'm on the show with this guy with Tourette's. Exactly. First hour, he's doing telephone noises, buzz, mings, he's like, "Ah, bring, bring." And I'm just sitting there, beside myself. I'm like, I'm never getting on. I'm resigned to the fact I'm never getting on. After the first hour, he goes, "We have comedian Evan Weiss sitting there. You've been so quiet for the first hour." I'm like, "Well, I didn't think I was going to out-retard this guy." So he says to me, he goes, "Evan, what's your biggest credit?" There's a guy who's been on, Howard Stern, movies, such and such. "What's your biggest credit?" I didn't want to tell Artie Lang that I did about 10 podcasts that about 10 people listen to. And about another 10 cable access show, maybe 15 people watch, from Staten Island to Long Island. So I just turned to him and I go, "Artie, my biggest credit is the Artie Lang show." He goes, "No, really, the one I'm on right now." That's it. That's what he said. Exactly. I like giving to a complete halt right then and there. That's what I like doing. Last year I had my gallbladder removed. I had emergency gallbladder surgery. I lost 11 pounds in the hospital. 11 pounds in the hospital. Now I scheduled 3 more operations for organs I don't need. I don't need appendix, right? I don't need tonsils. Who needs legs, right? I need to get laid. I went to my doctor. He sent me on all these tests. He goes, "Evan, I have some bad news for you." Sat me down, scared the shit out of me. He goes, "Evan, you're borderline diabetic." This is what he tells me. I go, "Doc, test me again because I know I can pass this one." I studied for 40 years. He said, "Put down the cheeseburger and fucking kill yourself already." Oh man, this is the life, guys, isn't it? Sir, how are you doing? I'm picking on you all fucking. Oh man, I like to eat. That's all. That's my whole life. I like to eat. That's all. That's it. I was at a buffet, minding my own business. Was working on my second, third, ninth plate of food. I don't know. I lost track after a while. A nice little couple. They came up to me and they handed me one of these born-again Christian pamphlets. You guys ever seen these? I kind of felt like it was a food intervention. It was like a fat person intervention. The new politically correct term, what we like to be called is fatties. First of all, a buffet for us fatties, that's kind of like odd church. You don't come into odd church and push your religion onto me. I don't go into a regular church, put a bacon double cheeseburger on the communion wafers. Although it does sound yummy, it does. I don't knock the wine out of the priest's hand and say, hey, try the chocolate milkshake. This is so much better. At this point, I got annoyed. I grabbed the old man by the lapels because I could. He was like 98 years old. I knew I can take him. I said, listen, sir, let me tell you a little something about my Savior. My Savior died on the golden arches for my sins. As it was written in the Book of Fries by the disciple Grimace, he said, take this McRib for it is Ronald's body, because it is available for a limited time only, while supplies last. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of my last Happy Meal. Thank you very much for coming.
Evan Weiss, everybody, one more time. Come on.